Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paddy G YouTube channel. As always, smash that like button if you enjoy the video. Subscribe so you don't miss any NRL content throughout this rest of the Origin period. Now, we love State of Origin, but there's still, for some reason, NRL games happening this weekend. A bunch of Origin stars are out, so it could make this round of tipping a little bit tricky. So let's get straight into the first game. Up first on Thursday night, we are going back to Redcliffe. KO Stadium hosts the Dolphins and the Dragons. I believe this is the second Dolphins game they've ever played back at their real home, I guess you would call it. For the Dolphins, no Hammer, no Tom Gilbert, huge losses. But for the Dragons, no Ben Hunt. And usually, when you take Ben Hunt out of a Dragons side, I give them no chance whatsoever. But I think they can take a lot of confidence out of last week. But back at Redcliffe, they've still got the Bromwich boys. I'm going to take the Dolphins to get the job done. I just think that they've rarely lost 2 games in a row this year. I don't know how much last week took out of the Dragons. So yeah, I'm going to stick with the mighty Finns. Friday sees the Eels. They're taking on the Cowboys, who will be out to try and get some redemption. They're paying $5. No Val Holmes, no Murray Taulagi, and they're missing a few more players. The Eels, they'll be without Junior Barlow. Look, it's very easy to sit here and say the Eels are probably doing a number on the Cowboys after what we saw last week, but we saw the Raiders bounce back over the Broncos. We've seen it time and time again. When a team gets flogged, they're going to lift the next week, and no team was more embarrassed in recent NRL history than that loss that the Cowboys suffered last week. In saying that, with a few of their Origin stars out, you're going to be a tough man or woman to tip against the Parramatta Eels, so that's what I'm doing. They're at Combank 2. I'm taking the Eels to get the job done, 1-12. Saturday kicks off back in New Zealand. The Warriors, they're hosting the baby Broncos. The Broncos are going to be missing nearly the entire forward pack. No Reece Walsh as well. I think we might be seeing Herbie Farnworth play fullback, which will be a bit interesting. They still have Mann and Reynolds in the halves, but coming off a bye week, this is still a different Warriors side. One that when you look at the ladder, probably should and deserves to be higher. I'm tipping the Warriors to get the job done. Back in New Zealand, I think they're just going to be too classy for what's going to be a very weakened Broncos side. It's a shame the Broncos aren't full strength, because this game would have been sick to watch, but I'm going to take the New Zealand Warriors back at home. The Saturday main event sees the Bunnies. They're taking on the Raiders. No Latrell Mitchell, but they've still got Cody Walker, Damien Cook, Campbell Graham is expected to play. The Raiders, they're just missing Hudson Young. This is, in my opinion, definitely the match of the round. This is going to be sick. Jack White, he's going to a core. He might get the biggest cheer of any player on the field. 2 teams that were in great form until last week. Maybe this match should have happened a week ago when both teams were firing, but we get to see it this weekend. There's still so many stars. Papali'i, Tapane, they'll be looking to rewrite their wrongs, because Manly, they absolutely embarrassed them in the middle off the back of Jakey Travojevic and Taniela Paseka. The Rabbits, they want to get back in the winner's circle. They had a pretty bad loss to the Parramatta Eels, but I'm sure they'll bounce back. The game of the round, I'm going to take the Canberra Raiders, just because I think they've got a bit more star power. You take Latrell Mitchell out, that's going to completely change the way the Rabbitohs play. They've been very reliant on Cody Walker this year. You take a few of those guns out, even more so. I mean, they've got no Cameron Murray as well. So I'm going to take the Raiders to get the job done here. They're just missing a lot less. And before last week, they were one of the form teams in the comp. So the Bunnies. This game is so hard to tip, but I'm going to go with the Canberra Raiders. And then the final game of the round, the Knights, they're back at home taking on the Manly Seagulls. If there's one week you don't want to play the Newcastle Knights, it's when you're out of your Tom Travojevic, your Daly Cherry Evans, Jake Travojevic is injured, and Newcastle Knights, Galen Ponga and Dane Gagai have been dropped from the Queensland side. They're going to be able to make a statement. So I am tipping Manly, because I'm not a turncoat. I think Newcastle should be in for a good win here. I expect Ponga, I expect Gagai to bounce back in a big way. Manly, we've seen them without Tom, we've seen them without Jake, you've seen them without Cherry Evans. You take all 3 of them out, then yeah, it's going to be one hell of a tough ask. Can't wait to see young Jacob Arthur make his Manly debut. That'll be sick. maybe he'll enjoy playing for a fan base that doesn't think he's an outright dog, which he isn't, Parramatta. You were very, very mean. One of the great try scorers in a grand final. But ladies and gentlemen, there you go. My round 13 NRL tips. A short round, but I'm sure it'll be worth it when next Wednesday rolls around. So I'm taking the Phins to get the job done over the Dragons, the Eels to beat the Cowboys, the Warriors to beat the Broncos. I'm tipping the Raiders to get an upset over the Rabbitohs, and I'm taking Manly as well. Ladies and gentlemen, drop your round 13 NRL tips in that comment section down below. That's what it's for. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one, which will probably be my Origin 1 game preview. Friday night food.